Diana, and today at Summer Arts we have Tom Sito. Tom is an animator. He's worked with a lot of Disney movies, and he is also a guest artist and lecturer here at Summer Arts. Tom, can you tell us a little bit about what you've done in the past with animation?
Great, thank you. Yeah. I've been in animation for about 35 years, and I worked on I was an animator on the Disney films Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King. Then I went over when Dreamworks started to help set up Dreamworks, and I was the head of the story department on Shrek, and did a few films there, and then over to Warner Brothers, and where I directed Osmosis Jones. And also done a lot of television, like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and Super Friends, and a bunch of silly things, Scooby-Doo, some of that stuff.
That's neat. How did you get involved with Summer Arts? Who contacted you?
Okay. Well, I've done, I do a fair amount of teaching myself, and I'm teaching over at the USC Film School right now. And one of the other instructors in the CSU system, Aubrey Mintz of Cal State University Long Beach, contacted me and asked if I would come up and see lovely Fresno, and be part of this workshop. And I said, sure, sounds like fun.
So this is your first time at Summer Arts this year. What's your impression of it so far?
Oh, it's very nice. It's very nice. It's a pretty campus, and a good group of students, and who are really sort of excited to learn. And it's kind of fun interacting with all of them.
So what are your students learning in your class?
Well, basically, we're talking a lot about basic traditional animation technique. You know, a lot of people, when they think about animation nowadays and they look at these fabulous movies like Toy Story and How to Train Your Dragon, think that it's all done by computer. You know, but there's a human element behind it also, and it's based on, even though we're animating with computers now instead of pencils, there's still basic filmmaking techniques, and there's still basic concepts of performance and staging that need to be learned. And so a lot of the stuff that I teach is the stuff that I learned from the golden age artists from the 1940s and 50s. Like, my teachers were people who did Snow White and Bambi, and I was good friends with Chuck Jones, who did all the Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner cartoons. And they passed on a lot of information to me, and so this is my chance to kind of make sure that continues on for another generation.
So tonight you're going to be presenting in a lecture. Can you give us a little bit of a preview of what you'll be talking about?
Well, yes, I'm going to talk a bit about the interesting differences that have arisen between the creation of computer graphic films and traditionally painted, and hand-drawn films, and the relevance of hand-drawn or traditional animation into the modern type stuff. Things like, when you see a film like Toy Story 3, which is a really good film, there's a lot of old-fashioned filmmaking going on, even with all the really advanced computer technology. So it's not just about, pushing the right button.
I haven't seen Toy Story 3 yet. I'm really looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. But can you give me just an idea of how that old style of animating transfers over into the digital age? Well,
yes, there's a lot of performance that's involved, and we've still figured out we figured out technically how to make skeletons and bones and muscles in the computer, and we build these things, but yet they don't perform, they don't act. And the problem is computers create perfection, and human beings are imperfect. It's like if I was to take my hands and slap them on my hips like this, my lap, it's physically impossible for you to hit at the exact millisecond both hands. One hand is always a frame ahead of the other hand. It's always like one beat before the other one. A computer could do it perfectly, but it's so. In other words, we have to build imperfection into the computer to make it feel more natural,
more like real life.
Yeah, like real life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like if you jumped up and down on your feet, one foot would touch the ground a millisecond before the other foot. Well, a computer could it could both be perfect. So we're building in perfection, and all because that's what the audience has empathy with and understands as being more human.
Well, Tom, it's been really nice to have you here with us today, and we're looking forward to your lecture tonight.
Great, thank you. Thanks
you
for having me.
Alright, so the story opens in this abandoned sort of shack, and there's a girl inside. She's playing with her doll and she hugs it. Something tugs at her dress. It's her little brother, and there's her mom thirsty in the corner with some buckets. So she takes the buckets over to this watering hole. She fills one of them, and then she fills the other and picks it up. Goes to pick up the second one, but then realizes to pick it up she has to drop her doll. So she looks at the doll, she looks at the bucket, back at her doll, hugs the doll, and then decides to leave the doll so she can take the water back to her family. And that's the end.
Really nice.